What is up, YouTube, and welcome back to another video. Today, some of the things that I have planned, the new shock absorbers are going to be going into the car. So basically for the next, I want to say, few hours, my car is going to be completely taken apart and all the suspension pieces are kind of going to be out of the actual car. I'm super nervous about this because this is actually the first time that I'm ever going to go ahead and take the suspension apart on this car. But I have done a bit of my research. I've been checking up on the forums, I've been reading, and I've been looking at videos on YouTube of how to go ahead and do it. And on top of that, the homie Mari is going to show up for a little bit. She's going to come and help me out because she has taken apart the whole suspension component of her 1965 Impala. So I'm going to go ahead and try to vlog as much as I can and be as informative as I can, so that for those of you guys who don't know what's going on, may be able to understand a little bit. And for those of you guys who possibly might have Supra projects in the future or currently have them, you guys are going to know and understand like what it takes to go ahead and maintain the suspension components in this car. So right now, I'm just going to go ahead and back the car into the driveway. Mari's going to go ahead and pull up, and then we're going to go ahead and get this thing on jack stands and just start getting to work. All right, so first things first, don't be one of those dudes or one of those girls that jacks up the car and then tries to take the wheel off. Break the lug nuts while it's on the ground. It's just a lot easier. So I'm going to go ahead and like take the center cap off because and then for this one, it's going to be a 21. Figure it out. 13. Broken. And I have one more, but for some cars, you usually have a key that's going to go ahead and unlock the fifth one. So I'm going to go ahead and get the key real quick and then. Alright guys, so just got the wheel off, and now we're going to go ahead and start checking out the suspension components in my car because I've never done this before and I'm tripping out. I know that it's a multi-link suspension, so that's going to help me out quite a bit, but I'm going to go ahead and try to make sense of what I know on this stuff because I was recently learning about this at school. Stupid garbage truck! But like I said, I don't exactly know everything, so if I mess up, please go ahead and leave a comment down below and let me know what I messed up on, or if I worded something incorrectly, if I called something incorrectly. Please go ahead and let me know so that I can go ahead and start putting it into my memory and start learning a little bit more, whether it's about my car or just cars in general. So make sure you guys go ahead and let me know in the comments. Anyway, so right here what we got obviously is the rotor, the brake caliper, and then the McPherson strut. There's the upper control arm right here. Lower control arm is down there. The spindle that connects everything together over here. And basically the Supra is a multi-link suspension, so for those of you guys who didn't know, this is exactly what it's going to go ahead and look like. And so basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking this off, this whole component off of the car, and replacing the shock absorber, keeping the same springs, and everything else is fully intact, everything else is fine. So we're just going to go ahead and start reusing that, and later over time I do plan on going with a coilover suspension. So like I said, this right now is to just go ahead and make sure that everything is well maintained and it's reliable. So for right now, we're just gonna go ahead and replace the shock absorber, and then later on in the future, I'll go ahead and put in a coilover suspension. But for now, let's get to it. So you guys already know, you gotta stay safe and professional. Wear the glasses and the gloves. But basically, we went over here, and there's a stabilizer link that's in the Supra suspension, or I think that's what it's called, stabilizer link. Anyway, you can take this 14mm wrench and you go ahead and crank it onto this, and then you got to hold it down with the Allen key so that you keep the actual bolt from spinning, and then you just take off the nut. Once you're able to go ahead and crank it loose, then you just start doing this, untighten it, whatever you want to call it, and it'll go ahead and start coming apart. Alright, so after watching a video on YouTube, basically what we found out was we had to go ahead and remove the upper control arm, and so in order to do that, you need a 19mm socket, and I'm going to go ahead and use a breaker bar rather than a wrench because it's just a lot easier to do it with a breaker bar. So shout out to my homie Carlos for buying me this breaker bar for my birthday, but we're going to go ahead and take off the upper control arm. Alright, and so what I just finished up doing was I took the washer and the nut off of the upper control arm, and so then you're just gonna go ahead and pull this really big bolt out, and then while you're at this, you're just gonna go ahead and also remove the bottom bolt that is holding in the actual shock absorber. And then once you guys have done that, then you can go ahead and move up to the top of the engine bay, where I'm gonna go ahead and have to remove some of these wires and stuff like that, because right here where the strut mounts at the top, you're gonna have to go ahead and undo the 3 bolts around it, but not the one in the middle, otherwise I'm gonna mess something up. So right now we got everything disassembled. And the only thing that is left for me to do is to go ahead and remove the bolt that is holding in the actual shock absorber or strut. And before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and release all the tension that's built up in the spring by bringing down this jack, because if you don't release the tension in this, it's going to like expand, it's going to burst, it could burst up into your car. And we're going to make sure that my brake line isn't actually holding on to my caliper, because we don't want anything bad to happen there. But other than that, we're going to go ahead and bring it down, and then the actual strut, once we push the rotor down a little bit, should be able to just go ahead and slide right out. So this is where we're at right now. So this bolt's off, it's all loose, nice and easy. Now the only thing that's left is to go ahead and unbolt the top part. And once this is fully off, the whole strut or the whole shock absorber will be able to just pop right out, slide right out. And then we're gonna go ahead and compress the spring and then reuse everything else except for the actual shock absorber. So let's go ahead and finish. All right, guys, and so this is the scary part. So everything perfectly fine. Brake line is nice and loose, there's no tension there, so everything's fine right there. This is the scary part. The scary part is having to go ahead and detach the spring from the actual shock absorber. And so I went to O'Reilly and rented these out. These are spring compressors, and you use a 19mm wrench to go ahead and start tightening them up so that the spring becomes loose. And basically, once the spring is compressed enough, you can go ahead and unbolt the top of the actual strut or the top of the actual shock absorber, and then be able to start taking it apart and only take off what you really need to, install the other shock absorber the exact same way that this one was installed, and then you're good to go. But this part is really scary because it's actually very dangerous as well. So if you guys are doing this, make sure you guys either have somebody who's done it before, or you guys do enough research, because for me it's been pretty scary. It's my first time ever doing it, but so far we're good. As you guys can see, it's loose over here, and you never really want to put your fingers in between, but just for demonstration purposes, like it moves within the actual shock absorber. So we're good to go. I'm gonna go ahead and install the new shock absorber onto this spring and everything. We're gonna be good to go, and then we're just gonna go ahead and install it. First one out of 4, guys. We're doing good. So my savior showed up. Compa Ricky helped me out. So what we did was we ended up basically putting it back onto the car so that we could go ahead and loosen the nut that was at the top of this, because it wasn't coming off any other way. But the spring is still compressed, and this is the old shock absorber. It's really bad. So we're gonna go ahead and replace this, and then just put everything else on, the bumper stop, the coil, and it should be set to go. Mount it back up, and there's the first one, first front. That's a 13. Tighten the ones on top. So just tighten them down so that, like, I'll hold this. Tighten them down. And then we're gonna get this bolt. I'm gonna have to raise this thing. Oh, that's too high. Whew. Dude. Jesus. Oh my God. I give up, guys. I give up. We're done. Whoever wants to buy the car, go ahead and let me know. $5 cash only. It's up on Craigslist. Finally got it on, so we're gonna put on the nut.
The nut?
The nut. Obviously, we're gonna tighten all this down. I'm not just like gonna hand tighten it. So.
Twist that nut, right?
Why are you so close to my face, bro?
We need to get the face of ValeeMeetz, you know?
Here, hold down. Ricky, you want to get this cracked? But I do know what it feels like to go to school with the knockoff shoes. Tight?
Yeah.
So, it's fully in, boys. It looks hella clean. Everything's all nice and snug. Now we're just gonna finish up tucking some of these wires. We'll be all good. Who needs a gym when you work on cars? All right, here we go. Ready, Ricky? Hype me up, bro. Hype me up. Oh. All right, we're good. So anyway, same process. Say what's up to the homie Carlos and Chris. What's up, guys? Same process. Took off the wheel. Now this one's a lot simpler because it's literally just a bolt down there, unbolt the top, and then go ahead and slide it out. So as you guys can see, there's a lot of rubber there. So we're gonna go ahead and clean that up, and then we're just gonna go ahead and start installing the new ones. All right, guys. So as you guys can currently see, my face is crazy dirty because I literally worked from 9 and it's 7 right now. So I worked from 9 to 7 to go ahead and finish it. But my new shock absorbers are finally in the car, and I'm test driving it right now, and it feels pretty nice actually. It's nice and smooth. I heard a few cracks and a few pops, probably everything just kind of going into place with the springs and everything. But other than that, I just want to apologize for not taking a lot of footage of what happened with the rears. It just happened to be pretty simple, and I honestly just really wanted to get it done. So if you guys have any questions, make sure you guys go ahead and drop a comment down below. Make sure to go ahead and like this video, and make sure to subscribe if you guys haven't already. Thank you guys once again for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoy it and you guys are keeping up with my posts on Instagram and on Facebook and with this channel. But other than that, I just want to say, make sure to stay up, stay tuned. Until next time, guys, peace out.